Okay, so you might have seen in my last video where I said, I realize 3 of my 4 anime videos so far have been about sci-fi shows heavily featuring space travel, but I swear that's not all I watch. I'll try to focus on something different next time, but recently I got back into Robotech, so I thought it would be fun to watch the next season and do a video on it. Because that first series was so unexpectedly good. But here's where the problems kicked in. I knew going into Robotech that it was an amalgamation of 3 separate series, pasted together by the American adapters, but you know, I thought they were at least tenuously connected. And I thought that even if they weren't connected, I might still enjoy the story of these series on their own. That worked with the first season. It worked with what was formerly Super Dimension Fortress Macross, but it doesn't work now. They've tried to make such drastic changes to the story material of Super Dimensional Cavalry Southern Cross that half the time I don't even know if I can trust what I'm seeing. Sometimes it's just little things. Like, look here. The main character's voice actor is telling everybody to stop fighting, but the character I'm looking at on the screen is clearly cheering them on and telling them to keep going. This is not the look of somebody telling people to stop what they're doing. Sometimes it's a bigger issue. Remember the SDF-1 in the first series? Of course you do, it was the focal point of the entire series. Remember how they eventually landed it on Earth and just built a city around it? Okay, well, apparently, what they want me to believe in Season 2 is that now looks like this. You see the resemblance? You see how these are clearly the same thing? Giant robot the size of a city is now 3 plateaus, 3 mounds of earth with trees growing on them? See how that happened in the course of 20 years? That's another thing, you know, it's supposedly been 20 years since the last series. I'll get more into that later. Little things like that just destroy the believability of everything I'm seeing before me. Like how the narrator so often wants to tell me that these alien enemies in Season 2 are the same aliens from Season 1. These guys are the same as these guys. You can have the aliens call them Micronians all you want, but they are clearly all the same size as humans.
Do not move, Micronian.
Huh?
Stand slowly.
See, that name worked when the aliens were giants, but when everyone is clearly the same size, it makes no sense. Just say Earthlings or something. I don't know.
Do it as cheaply as possible. These stupid kids cannot tell the difference. You know they can't.
So in these first few episodes, the characters are basically fighting this faceless enemy. It's all new robots. I can't tell the difference between good guys and bad. So I started watching Robotech way back a year or 2 ago when I was sick with a fever, and I just wanted to watch some mindless robot spaceship battles. And instead I got an incredible, emotional human story. Well, I started Season 2 wanting the same incredible, emotional human story, and instead I got mindless robot space battles. A few episodes in, I broke down and read the synopsis of the series on my anime list, and my god, it really is a completely different story. The narrator kept trying to tell me this was Earth, but it's actually a colonized foreign planet. All the characters' names are different, but I guess that's par for the course. Our main character is supposed to be the child of 2 characters in the first series, so, recessive genes, hair dye, whatever, sure. Oh shit, don't look at that picture. But in reality, she has absolutely not a goddamn thing to do with either of them. The thing about trying to say these characters are connected in any way to those in the first series is pretty flawed no matter how you look at it. Because if this actually took place, what, 20 years after the first series, lots of those characters would still be around. I would expect them to appear in the series. And of course, they don't. The plot that they're trying to tell me in this second series is that these aliens have traveled to Earth to try and harvest proto-culture. And after a whole 60 episodes of Robotech, I still have no idea what that is. Trust me, everyone, I paid really close attention this time, because I really want to know what this MacGuffin is. During my really close attention paying, the narrator said in the intro of the 19th or 20th episode that proto-culture is an energy source for the aliens. Okay, great. So, an energy source for what? What do they need it for? Why can't they use steam power? Or nuclear? Is it just a really clean energy source? Will they die if they don't have it? Do the humans also need it? Can they just give it to the aliens? Why does it only occur on Earth? Why can't the aliens produce it themselves? Have they done that in the past? Is it a non-renewable resource that ran out? Is it a metaphor for oil or gas or something? While I'm at it, what's Robotech? After all this time, still nobody has taken 10 damn seconds to tell me what it is. The only thing I can reason out is that it's some kind of vague general term for advanced science-y superweapons like spaceships and transforming robots. With these past 3 sentences, I've probably put more thought into it than the people who actually made up the word to title this TV show. This series will introduce you to such characters as
I am Major John Carpenter of the Robotech.
John Carpenter, and
I'm simply relaying the orders from General Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, and aliens who have comical high-pitched robot voices.
Explosions. Everything's burning.
Listen, what's he talking about?
The burning. Stop it!
But also sometimes they don't for some reason.
A man without a past is a man without a home.
All in all, I wasn't too crazy about any of the characters, and a year from now I probably won't remember any of them. Not even for how bad they were. Remember in the first season, how the main character witnesses death for the first time in battle and it kind of traumatized him? Our main character in this series shoots up a bunch of aliens and this is her reaction. Hooray for death! But there are also some laughably contradictory moments earlier on where these people are total conscientious objectors. Like when this guy basically says, "What? You mean these military officers asked for my advanced first-person shooter controls so they could implement them in military technology? To be used for killing? You mean the very career path I have chosen? I am outraged, and I refuse to fight, and my creation must be destroyed." Remember the music numbers from the first season? Remember Min-May's one-hit wonder about stage fright?
Stage fright, go away. This is my big day.
Remember how that was her new hit song every single time it came out? There's a musical scene in this show too. I would play the whole thing for you, but it's kind of long. Let me just show you the beginning and assure you, it is out there, man.
Huh?
Anybody know where music is? Anybody know where music is? Anybody know where music is? Anybody know where music is?
Out with her Don Juan, where else? 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 Out with her Don Juan.
I'm going to end this review pretty shortly. And that's because abrupt endings were also characteristic of this show. I was very often blindsided by the end credits because things so rarely seemed to have reached a logical ending point. I'm gonna guess the reason for that is that the first episode of this season was pretty much just a recap of what happened in Season 1, so that and other production issues must have caused every subsequent episode to get thrown off kilter. Maybe halfway through the series, all the aliens started making these comments about how the Invid are coming. They made sure to mention that repeatedly. The Invid, whoever they are on the way from wherever they are to do something bad because... I'm going to assume these will be the aliens appearing in Season 3. And I have conflicting feelings about getting into Season 3. After seeing how this second season went, I was fully prepared to drop Robotech altogether and move on to other things, but people in the comments of my last video said to skip Season 2, and that Season 3 is far better. Well, Voltron304, I wish I had heeded your warning all those months ago when you said this. So maybe in another year or so, I'll move on to another video to cover the third season. That's it for today. Thanks again to all of my Patreon supporters in this past month, listed here.